Hi, and welcome to the NLHA channel, where this week we will be looking at another interesting topic relating to police searches. So recently in our area, we've been experiencing a number of police searches, and a lot of questions came to the fore from various avenues and mediums. So I thought I would just do a quick rundown of what police searches entails, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and just touch on some of those aspects. So what do you do when you are faced with a situation where you are about to be searched by the police, the SAPS, the South African Police Service? So I think before we start, it's important to note that SAPS is the National Police Force of South Africa. And the Constitution, which is our highest law, gives certain responsibilities to SAPS, for example, to prevent and combat crime, to maintain public order, and basically to enforce the law. And that is some of the things that, the responsibilities that is given to SAPS from a constitutional point of view. So it means that SAPS, they have a wide authority, and it's difficult to know your rights as an individual when it comes to things like searches or even how to behave when you are approached by the police. So here's a few things that you should note. The first thing always, from my point of view, is do not be aggressive. Rather be polite, even if the police officer is rude to you or they are aggressive. The best thing for you to do is to not retaliate. So be polite and be calm. That's always the first thing in any situation when it comes to SAPS. Secondly, ask for identification. It is required of SAPS officers to clearly identify themselves to the public. So if the person doesn't have a name tag that's clearly visible, or you can't identify the person, then ask for identification. Full name, surname, if there's any officer number, ask for those and write it down, or ask somebody to write it down. I always maintain, if you can make a recording, tell the person that you are recording and make notes of it. So you must remember that it is within SAP's right to perform searches. However, they must have a valid reason to perform the search. They can't just search you because they feel like searching you. So when it comes to searching your person, your body, your vehicle, your house, there must be a valid reason for them to perform such a search. However, bear in mind that even if they do not have a valid reason, or like for example a warrant, again, do not resist, stay calm, do not become aggressive because they do not have a valid reason or because they don't have a warrant. You are only making it more difficult for yourself if you are aggressive. So remain calm. There are instances like roadblocks. So I've heard numerous times that people say, no, but it's a police officer, they're not traffic, so they can't pull you down, or they can't stop you at a roadblock, etc. The SAPS may stop you at a roadblock, and SAPS may search your vehicle and your person at a roadblock. However, with roadblocks, there normally exists a authorization that's been given prior to the roadblock, which means that you are allowed, it's within your rights, to ask to see that authorization. So the authorization is normally given by the national or the provincial commissioner for SAPS, and that authorization must be present at the roadblock. So you are allowed to ask them for that before you give them permission to perform the search. If you feel unsafe at the roadblock to be searched, you may ask them to go to the nearest police station and have the search done there. So bear in mind, at a roadblock, SAPS is allowed to search you, and then also you are allowed to ask for the authorization from the national or the provincial police commissioner. Now, when it comes to body searches, at any given time, whether it's at a police station, at a roadblock, in your house, wherever, whenever a SAPS official searches you, it must be someone from the same sex. SAPS may search you, or SAPS officials may search you if they have a reasonable suspicion of some sort of misconduct. For example, that you might be in the possession of stolen property, or if the circumstances under which they find you is suspicious, they are allowed to search you. Obviously, you do have the right to know why you are being searched, so you can ask them on record why they are searching you, and they must have a reasonable reason for searching you. If you are arrested, remember, you have the right to remain silent. I always say this: if you are arrested, do not speak or say anything. Do not confess to anything. Please use your right to remain silent. They can't force you to speak. They can't force you at all to confess to anything. There are certain things that you must give to a SAPS official if asked. For example, if they ask your name and surname, you must give it to them. If they ask your address, it's something that you must give to them. However, the things that you must give to them, that's very limited. For most of it, keep quiet and ask to speak to your lawyer or a legal representative. At the time that you are arrested, searched, you are not guilty of anything. Even if they caught you with something red-handed, you are not guilty. You only become guilty when you are found guilty by a competent court, or if you pay an admission of guilt fine in the specific circumstance. So I always say, be very, very careful of paying admission of guilt fines. Remember, if you pay that admission of guilt fine, you are automatically guilty, and it might be that becomes part of your criminal record. So please be careful of admission of guilt fines. So yeah, that basically covers searches in a nutshell. SAPS is within their rights to search you. However, there are limitations and there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. For me, the most important is remain calm, don't get excited, don't be aggressive, and rather fight the irregularity of the search or the illegalness of the search. Rather fight it afterwards, opposed to escalating the matter during the search and making your life much, much more difficult. If you have any questions or you want any information on any legal topic, please feel free to send us an email, a message. The details are all below, and we will do our best to answer your legal questions.